A very good afternoon to all the students of CSC 6th semester. So today we'll learn all about intents. That is the topic of today. And the contents would be what are intents, what are the different types of intents, how we link different activities using the intents, then what is intent filter and how to resolve the intent filter collision. Then you will pass the data using the intent object and getting the results back from an activity using the intents. So intent is nothing, but it is used to navigate the one activity from the another. As we have seen in the video, that there is one activity. Suppose this is A activity, and you are moving to activity B, and this is carried out with the help of intent. So just like we have a website in our phones, and we used to navigate from one page to another, it is done with the help of links in the website, but inside the app it is done with the help of activities. So intent in short is a messenger which responds to the message. So it is the messaging object that you can use to request an action from an app component. What does this app component means? App component is nothing but it is an activity, comma, it is a service, or it could be a broadcast receiver, or it could be a broadcast receiver. So that means what? If I want to open an activity A and I want to move to which activity, because my application will contain the number of activities. Suppose I have an app. Suppose this is my application A. It contains activity A. It contains activity B. It contains activity C. Fine. Now, to which activity I want to make the first activity, to which is to be opened whenever my application launches. Suppose this is the activity A. Suppose this is activity A, which I want to open whenever my application opens. Fine. Whenever I run or install my application on the mobile phone, I want my activity A to be launched. After activity A, where should I move? I should move to activity B or I should move to activity C. This is the component which I have to specify after opening activity A, what would be my second activity. And that is done with the help of the intent. That means we have to provide the component name, that is the activity name, which is to be opened after an app is opened and first activity is launched. So it is the way to communicate between the different Android components and to request an action from the components or by different components. Now, what is the action to be performed by different components? Suppose I want to open a website. Fine, I want to open a website from my app. That means I want to view the app. Suppose I want to view the app on my phone. So that means my action would be view. I want to see the app on my mobile phone. So I will put here www.agcamritsar.in. So it will show me that particular website onto my phone. So action would be view. That means I have to tell after opening an activity what it should do. If it has some content to show me, then I will put the data as action equal to view. This is the tag which is in the XML file. In the manifest file, I'll show you how to implement it. So it would be action underscore view. So it's a message. Intent is a message which the Android operating system listens to and then react accordingly by identifying and invoking the app's appropriate component. For example, there is a battery low signal. Fine. There is a battery low signal. Now, whenever your battery goes low of your mobile phone, the different apps in your phone listens to the message which is generated by the Android operating system. So Android operating system generates the message which it transfers to all the application in your mobile phone. So as your app listens to these messages. Fine. Once the messages are listened by the app, that means either you are on the Facebook or you are on the Insta or you on the WhatsApp, the signal will come to you, the message will come to you, your battery is low, kindly plug in your chargers. So this message is generated by the broadcast receiver and it is done with the help of intent. The messages are I mean generated by the broadcast receiver, but sent by the intents to the various uh, applications in the mobile phone. Fine. So this is how it happens. Whenever you open the profile pic of your WhatsApp, it sends the message to the gallery, start the gallery. Once you have pressed the gallery button, the intent will be passed. That means to get the picture of the profile, you choose the picture from your gallery. So the message will go start gallery. So this is done with the help of intent. See, this blue line is there. This is what intent is. Then you will select a photo. It will return the selected photo back to the WhatsApp pic. So this is again an intent. Fine. So user picks the photo via the button and selects the photo from the gallery and send back it to the profile pic for the profile pic, and it is done with the help of intent. So what are the uses of intent? Various uses of intents are first, it is used. So various uses of intent are first, it is used to navigate from one activity to another. That means you navigate from activity 1 to activity 2. Right? So you will move from one activity to activity 2. This is first use that you will use the intents for. That means they are your communicating agents. Communicating agents or the messenger which responds to the message. To the message. Second, they are used to start a service. For example, I want to download a big file or want to play the music in the background. Play the music in the background. So service has no front end, but it has the back end. That is, file downloading is also going in the back end, and music playing is also going in the back end. But this can be started by intent. But this can be started by intent. How? Because whenever you are pressing the download button, you receive a notification on the setting page or setting activity that file is downloaded or downloading. This kind of notification you receive on the setting side. So file is downloading, or this kind of notification is there if you are playing the song. If it is playing, you are pressing button, play button, otherwise it is on the pause state. So playing songs. So there is no foreground or for front end for this service, but there is a back end for the service where file is downloading and this, I mean, song is played. So this is done in the background using the service part. Fine. And third, it is used to initialize or register a broadcast receiver. Broadcast receiver. Now what happens inside the broadcast receiver? Whenever any disturbance is there in the OS of mobile phone or Android, any disturbance in the Android OS, it will generate the message. For example, when the battery goes low, or it becomes charged. It becomes fully charged. Then what happens? This is a disturbance to the Android operating system. Now what happens? It will generate the messages to all the apps whichever are running in your mobile phone that the battery is low. It could be Facebook, it could be Insta, it could be WhatsApp, wherever you are working. So battery is low and you will get a picture, plug in your charger. So this signal will be generated for Insta as well. This signal will go to WhatsApp as well. Fine. Because whenever you are working on the WhatsApp, sometimes the battery goes low and you will get the notification there and then. These notifications are generated by the broadcast receiver, but they are sent with the help of intents to the applications whichever there are in the mobile phone. So you can see this uses of intents which are written in the slide. First is the three fundamental uses of intent are start an activity. The activity represents the single screen. In your app, you can start a new instance of an activity by passing an intent to start activity method. This is a practical part which we will do. Then you have the intents describes the activity to start and carries the necessary data along with. Now, what does this line mean? Means that if we are sending the data from one activity to another, for example, I want to send the I mean a mobile phone number and the name of the person along with the data from one activity to another. Means I'm pressing activity A, then let's move to activity B. But along with that, I want my data to be displayed on the second activity. See, I have printed my name, suppose ABC on first activity, and I want that it should say me hi ABC on the second activity screen. So this is how the data is passed through the intents, and this will be done programmatically. Fine. Service component is used to perform the operation in the background. It does not have any user interface. I told you that. And it can be done for one time of operations like downloading a file or to play the music in the backend. Next is to deliver the broadcast, means any broadcast message that an application should receive. For example, if you have any battery low signal, your device started charging, device is full, memory is full, delete some photographs. So this is these are the messages which are delivered by broadcast to every app which is running in your Android phone. So this is done with the help of broadcast receiver, and the methods used are send broadcast and send ordered broadcast. This is how the intents are used. One more instance of intent is that it decides the entry point of your app. Entry point of your app. I tell you how. See, when you open the any shopping site, when you open the any of the shopping sites, suppose I have opened the Amazon, right? So this is Amazon. Suppose there is a main page and there is some icon which is displaying the dryers, right? Now, when you open this particular block, it will open me the list of dryers. 1, 2, 3, fine. Once you have found your favorite dryers to purchase, you will have this activity where the specifications or of the hair or of the dryer is written along with the price. Written along with the price. Now, this is activity 1, this is activity 2, and this is activity 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, what does intent decides? It decides that this homepage of the Amazon would be the first activity from where the user starts interacting with the Amazon. So this is also done with the help of intents. That means the intents decides the entry point of your application from where the application will start interacting with the user. Fine. This is how it is being decided. Now, others things which are used by intent to start the service, like displaying a web page in the browser, then displaying the list of contacts and making the phone call. Fine. So this is how different services are instantiated by the intents. See, there are two types of intents. One is explicit intent and other is implicit intent. If we want the communication between the components of your application, only then you use the explicit intent. That means whenever we are moving in our own application, that is called explicit intent. That means they are using the uh, components of the same applications, and intents are used to communicate between them. For example, if you want to launch an activity by clicking some button on the present activity, then you specify the qualified address of the desired activity to launch the activity. That means if we are in activity A and we want to move to the activity B of the same project, then this is called your explicit intent. Fine. I'll tell you uh, by showing a live example. Suppose this is the Flipkart page and this is the home page, fine, and intent has decided this to be the home page. Now I press on this hair dryer category. See, this is the category which is opening in, this is a page or this is the activity which is opening inside the Flipkart only. So it could be activity 2, activity 3, anything, fine. So if I press on the first, this Nova one, this one. Okay, now the third activity will be displayed, which will have the specification and price of this trial. Fine. So this is explicit intent. You are moving here. This is your activity 3. If I press back, it will come to this activity 2. If I go back again, it will come to the home page. That means this is activity 1. This is your activity 2, where you are getting the entire list. When you select something which you found, then if I move to next screen, this will be my third activity. And this is called the explicit intent. Here we have to give the name of the activity along with the path so that we can reach this activity. Fine. So that's why it is written. I mean, that's why it is written. I mean, fully qualified address is required. This fully qualified address is required. We have to give the path of the activity which we want to open. So this is the diagram. First activity, click me. This is the second activity. Now let's come to the implicit intent. Suppose this is my screen. If you are able to see, I show you my WhatsApp. Wait. Just wait, I'm getting that. Okay. Suppose this is my screen, fine. Okay, I'll show you one more. Somebody has erased it. Okay. So this is the activity. Now I am using camera. Camera is not a part of WhatsApp. It is integrated. Already camera app is there in your phone. That is a separate app, but it is integrated with WhatsApp. But you are using this separate program in order to open. So that is called implicit intent. So if I open this, see, I have opened the camera. You are able to see the camera. And this is your implicit intent when you use the different application to open your activity or open inside your activity. That is done with the help of implicit intent. So that's why its definition is written. By using the implicit intents, you can communicate between the various applications which are present in the mobile phone. So you can assess the current location by location data from the other application. If one application A is detecting the current location of the user, you can use the data so that current application location can be communicated with the application A. Now, what does this mean? Suppose I want to reach some restaurant where my friends have invited me. I ask them to send me their location, so they will send me the map. So when I start navigating through map, I'll using that different app in my WhatsApp. Fine, I'll switch to the navigation app. So that is called using the implicit intent. So let us do the functionality. Let us do the code. For the code part, I'll show you. See, this is the application. If I open the camera, so implicit intent requested, it is matched with the camera app because it is already there. So that's why this camera app will be opened. So next, we'll come to the component part later on. First of all, let me show you the code for implicit and explicit intent. Fine. So this is the code. So in the explicit intent, what we are using, you are writing the intent class. Its object is I. The new intent get application context is your current application, and activity 2 dot class is the activity where we have to move from activity 1. Then when we do this start activity I, we will move from current activity to the second activity. Similarly, for the implicit intent, we have to write the action tag, what we want to do. We want to view a website, so we will write intent dot action underscore view. That is, I want to view this android.com onto my mobile phone. For that, we have to set the data inside the intent as URI stands for Uniform Resource Locator, from where we parse the address of this www.android.com, and we will open this android.com onto our phone. Fine. So this is how it is implemented, and we will implement shortly. Before that, we should do the components of the intent. So there are 6 components of the intents. So there are 6 components of the intents. First is component name, second is action, third is data, fourth is category, fifth is extras, and sixth is flag. So first is component. As the name states, it is optional but a critical piece of information. It is optional but a critical piece of information. Component name, I told you, it could be the activity name where we want to move. It could be the service because we use the intent to start a service. It could be your broadcast receiver. But you do not use content providers with the intents, etc. Fine. So these are the various components. So either you can make the intent explicit or implicit. I told you that intent could be explicit, meaning that the intent should be delivered only to the app component defined by the component name. For example, inside activity 1, I say move to activity 2. That means activity 2 is a part of application 1 and it is linked with activity 1. So activity 1 will say where to move after opening activity 1. So it will say me go to activity 2. So that would be the component name if I move from activity 1 to activity 2. If the intent is implicit, that means we have to name the component or name the application which will receive my intent. For example, if I want to use the camera app will take. If I want to use the picture gallery gallery will take. If I want to use download manager because I want to upload some file from the download manager, then download manager will receive. So this is done with the help of implicit intent. So component name is set by usually set component, set class, or set class name. Fine. Or get component is also used. So the intent is implicit. The system decides which component should receive the intent based on the intent information. Now, what does this mean? Suppose I want to open a website, www.tutorials. Fine. So I want to open this site. Now, what happens? I have a Firefox browser in my phone. I have a Google. I have Google Chrome, and I have a supposingly Edge also. So a box will appear in front of me indicating the icons of 3, one for Firefox, one for Google Chrome, GC, and third is for Edge. Now the user will select whether he want to open his application with the Firefox or Google Chrome or Edge. Whatever you are finding suitable, you will open that file in that particular browser. Means you will open this tutorials point using either Google Chrome or Edge or Firefox. Right. So this is what it wants to say, that it is decided by the system that these components are suitable to open this particular website. Now the user will choose which component he wants to use for his website to be opened. So that means the user will give the component name. He will select the component name from the given list so as to open his website. So this is called fully qualified. This, if you need to start a specific component in your app, you should specify the component name. That means user will specify that he wants to open his file either with Firefox or with GC or with Edge. Whatever the user will choose, he will open this tutorials point with that particular app. Now, so we have to use this fully qualified class name of the component. Even the package name should be included. For example, it is written com.example.example activity. For example, this is example activity. Project is named with the help of example activity, and its path is com.example. So whenever we are moving from one application to another, we can write com.example.main activity 2, or we can write com.example.main activity 3. This is how the component works. Next is the action. So action is the string which specifies general the action to be performed. Either you can view or you can pick. You want to see or you can choose from. Pick means choose from. Fine. So first action is call. You cannot make the call from the AVD, but it will show you the dialer box where phone number will be written and this button will be there. Fine. So action.edit, when you want to make the changes, whichever the data is visible into the user, just like you want to change the phone number if you have mistakenly typed it. Now main means this would be the initial or the first activity in a application. So it will take no output and no input. That means it could be some logo activity where a splash screen would be there and it will contain one logo and your loading bar would be there. I mean, loading of the project would be there. I mean, this loading of the project would be there. I mean, 20% loading, 30% loading kind of this thing. So this will be your action main, which will do not take any input or output to the user. Then action dial. This is used to display the dialer to the user. Synchronize means synchronize the user data on their device. Your data is synchronized to the cloud, different clouds, whichever is deployed on your Android device. It could be Google Cloud, it could be Samsung Cloud, it could be like this. Now, whenever you plug your headset, then you will say start playing music when the action headset plugged. Means the headset has been plugged into your device, you start playing the music. Then action screen on, you unlock your screen using your fingerprint, then this action screen on will take place. When your battery goes low, then action battery low, you will say when the battery goes low below the 20% of power, then generate the message battery is low, or warning signal is generated to alert the user the battery is running low. If you want something to be displayed, user wants something to be displayed, then we will use this action underscore view category. So next, generally these two things are used. One is action underscore view to display the things to the user when the activity has to show something to the user or want to interact with the activity, such as viewing the photographs in the gallery app or view the map in a map app. Fine. And send is used when you application want to send the messages to the other activities. That means user has some data which can be shared through the data sharing apps such as emails or Twitter, WhatsApp, or Facebook messages. Wherever you are on the social media, you want to generate some messages, then it is done with the help of action underscore send. Next is data. In data, you will say this when it stores the different types of data. Suppose you want to send the images, it will store the image. Suppose you want to send the text, it will store the text, videos, audios. So that's why it is written MIMA. Multiple inputs, multiple extensions type of data is addition to the URI. In addition to the URI, we will also send the MIME type of data. See here it is given intent.set data, URI.parse, google.co.in. So the methods which are used to send the data across the intents is set data, then it is set type, and you can also use set data and type. Fine. So data is always expressed in the terms of URIs, that is uniform resource identifiers. Means you are using the website addresses in order to send your data from one file to, or from one activity to the another. Next, there are different categories. Categories are used in case of explicit intents when you specify the type of the operation which will be performed by a particular activity or a type of application. For example, if you want to send the data from one app to the another, then only data sending app should be made available for the choice of users. For example, I tell you, if I want to open the Word file, I should be given the choices by WPS Office or PDF viewer, so that I can view my Word file in PDF and WPS. So the softwares which are compatible to open the Word file should be there in the category, so that this data can be made available to the user. Word file is made available to the user. So that means the type of application that will be used to perform a particular action. For example, if you want to send some data, then data sending application should be made available for the choice to user. What does this mean? That you can send your data through WhatsApp or email, etc. So you will get these programs as a choice to send some data. So you can add your category using the add category. Generally, these two categories are used. One is category browsable, when the things are to be invoked or when the activity is to be invoked on the internet or on the web browser to display the data, which is referred by URI. Then you will use the category browsable. Launcher means this is initial activity. Whenever you launch your app, a bee like icon would be there onto your mobile phone, which is used to launch your app onto the screen. So other categories which we are using is first alternative. When it is not in the main category, then it is used in the alternative list. Second is a gadget. You can use the app on smartwatches, automotives, automobiles, I mean. Then you have IoT based things. Then you have Android screens or Android TVs. So for that, you will use the Android gadget category. Next is home. Home means it will take you to the home screen. Launcher is the first application and it will launch your application onto your phone. If you want to add other categories, add category, delete category, and if you want to retrieve the list of categories, we use the get category method. There is one more category which is called default category, which is generally used by implicit intents. It is generally used by implicit intents. We use the implicit intents for the default category. You'll see in the programs. Now, suppose you want to send the data. Suppose this is my name and roll number. This is in the activity 1. Okay. Now the result is to be generated on activity 2. So I want that this name and roll number to be displayed on this screen along with the subject marks. Now what happens? It has to take the data in the key value pair. Now what is key and what is value? Key is name, and suppose name is ABC. Okay. And roll number will be the key and value will be, these are two values. So this is 123. Suppose the name of person is ABC having the roll number 123. Along with this subject marks, this data has to be displayed on activity 2. So on the activity 2, you will get the name and roll number through the intents. So intent will carry the data from one activity to another using the method called extra. Using the put extra method, you can display this name and roll number onto the activity 2. Using the put extra method, you can display the name and roll number to the activity 2. See, put extra method accepting the two parameters, name and its value. So two parameters will be accepted. Name is ABC and roll number will be 123. You can do the same thing using the bundle object, and get extra method. It is used to retrieve the data from the activity. Used to retrieve the data from the activity. That means if I want to display, get the value of name and roll number, I can use it with the, I can get it with the help of get extra method. Now, for example, if I want to send an email, my action would be send, because I want to send an email. What I want to send? email key, specify the subject, extra subject. I want to send this CPN, then I will add the email ID, and if, what subject I want to send, what is the content of the email, it would be referred by extra subject. This is how it will be carried. Now, last option is flags. Flags are optional. Again, they are the essential one. It helps to help us. It help us to describe the behavior of the intent. For example, when we are launching a new activity, and as soon as the first activity go, this is activity one, and this is activity two. As soon as I move from activity one to activity two, that means this is visible. Activity two will be visible, and activity one will disappear. I won't be able to see it. That means it will be removed from my top of stack. So for that, we will use the flag clear top. Fine. Now, if I want to vanish entire activities of my app, or if I remove, if I stop interacting with my application, if I press back button, that means I'm on the home screen. So this is done with the help of flag activity clear stack. That means it will clear all the existing stacks activities and make the new activity as the root of the activity. Fine. So this is done. I tell you how it does. See, this project is made with the name explicit one, and there are two activities. Sorry, there is a one activity, and it's XML file is there and main activity file is there. Now, before doing the explicit intent, I'll create one more activity. So we have to go to new. See, we have to click on app folder, right click on the app folder, and you'll say new, and then go to activity and go to empty activity. Got it? So you will name this as main activity 2. It is okay. So let us finish it up. So now you can see the resource folder. In the layout, we have two XML files. One is activity main underscore main XML, then activity underscore main 2.xml. Fine. And there are two Java files. One is main activity and main activity 2. Fine. So let's come to the implementation part. So we will drag a button here, and I'll align it in the parent horizontally, and I'll do vertically also. So I'll name it as, so I'll go to this, right in button tag, go to activity 2. This is activity 1. So I'll write go to activity 2. Fine. This is what you have to done in the XML file. If you see the design part of it, you will get go to activity 2 button. Fine, that's it. Now in activity2.xml, we can write a code. Just drag one text view box. So let it be here. Fine. And again, align it vertically and horizontally so that it should be visible to you, and horizontally also. Fine. Now in the code part, you will write, it's written text view, just change it to in activity 2. In activity 2. Fine. So this is done. Now let's come to the main activity Java part. So you will take button B1 because we have made one button. So write button B1. This we have done in the practical part also. So let's import it because it is giving me the red line. That means I need to import this. So if you see this, it is already importing it. So B1 is equal to find view by ID. You can write it this way also, r dot id dot button. Fine. Now B1 dot set on click listener, because I have to go to the activity on clicking it. So I'll do this. Sorry, n should be small. New, then view v capital, view dot on click listener. Fine. So I'll create the object of intent I. and I'll import it because it is giving me red line again. So Alt plus enter equal to new intent. I'll write new intent. You have to do main activity dot this, because we are moving from this activity to the second activity. Since they are in the same class, so we are writing it as main activity 2 dot class. Just wait. Main activity 2 dot class. Fine. So it will move from activity 1 to activity 2. Now you will say start activity intent, start activity intent object, then you will pass I. That's it. So this is done. Now you will come to main activity 2.java and write down here. You have to just make the toast dot make text, get application context. Now you will write inside activity 2. Give the comma here. Inside activity 2, activity 2, and this is done. Comma toast dot length underscore long dot capital L long, then dot show, followed by round braces and then semicolon. That's it. So open the build screen in order to see what is being built. Now let's build it. It will take few seconds or minutes to build up. Then I'll show you my mobile screen. So let's install it on the phone. It will take a few seconds to do it again. See, this is the button. I say go to activity 2. It is written in activity 2 and inside activity 2. That means you have moved from one activity to the another. If I give the back button, it will come to the activity 1. I press go to activity 2 in activity 2 and inside activity 2. This is how explicit intent work. If I want to make another button on the activity 2 and I'll want to move to the activity 3, then what happens? What I'll do is I'll create here one more activity, new activity. Let it be empty activity. So I do it as main activity 3. Okay. Now I will drag one button in the main activity dot XML. Earlier it was go to activity 2 now. So I'll go to this part and I'll see the design part of it. I'll drag one button. Let it be here. And I'll align it vertically and horizontally so that it should be displayed to me also. Fine. So in the coding part, go to the code part of it and write down go to activity 3. Go to activity 3. Fine. So as you can see the design part, it will have this button, go to activity 3. Now in Java file, what we are going to do is you will take one button instance. So write down button B2 because we have used button B1 in the first file. So I'll write button B2 Alt plus enter. Same code has to be there. So I'll copy this code from here to here and I'll paste it there in activity 2. So just wait. Look it here. Just put B2 dot. Fine. Now I will move from main activity 2 dot this to main activity 3 dot class. So this will be done. But before that, we have to find the button. B2 is equal to find view by ID. So you will do this R dot capital R dot ID dot button 2. So it is button 2. Take the ID and just run it. Let's make this app, build it up, and redeploy this app onto my phone. See, this is building and it says me terminating so that we can have the. Now you see, go to activity 2. So it is going to activity 3. So I have not written anything in the activity 3. So let me write it there also so that we can redeploy it and check. Again, copy the toast message. That's it. We need to do and paste it here. Only toast message is needed to be printed. So I can write also toast dot make text get application context and comma you will write in activity 3. Activity 3. Sorry, in activity 3. Okay. Then you will write toast dot length underscore long and you will write show method dot show. Just wait. I've appended at the wrong side. Dot show. SHOW. Then this put the semicolon and this is done. And you can drag one text view button here, align it vertically and horizontally, and in the code part write down in activity 3. In activity 3. So let's run it. Terminate. See, the launch is succeeded. Go to activity 2. Going to activity 3. Then it is inside activity 3 and in activity 3. This is how you make the activity 1, 2 and 3 and you can move inside your application in the different activities and this is called explicit intent. So let us make the implicit part. So you'll see new project, empty activity, then select next, give it name as implicit 1 because see this is the code where I have changed in the content that is implicit intent. Then main activity again that same thing v1 find view by id r.id.button then set on click listener. This you have done. Then on click view then action.view and this is the thing which is to be done. Now if I deploy this application you can see on the phone it is coming. Just wait. Okay, it's coming now. See, and I say implicit intent, it is showing the website. It is using the net of my mobile. Okay. So this is how the implicit intent works. That means from activity you have opened the another application that is your website. Fine. This is how it works. So let me tell you one thing more. If you are not able to see this page onto your phone, then you have to use this tag. Uses the permission. Please note it down. You have to use this tag. Uses the permission Android colon name Android dot permission to dot internet. That means it is allowed to use the internet of your device. This is how it is being using. Fine. So I hope today's lecture is clear to you. So thank you very much because I've shown you the implementation of explicit and implicit intents. Kindly implement it. If you have any queries or any doubts, you can send me a screenshot so that I can uh, rectify them and send you back. I can tell you your errors. That's it. So thank you so much for this session.